Y'all, I have never seen someone look so pathetic while thinking they were outsmarting someone than JD Vance did in this humiliating interview he did with the New York Times, where he continually refuses to answer the most simple and direct question, only to act like a naive little puppy who's proud of eating its own poop. My deepest apologies to puppies, I just couldn't think of a more apt analogy. But hear me out on this. JD Vance was almost the perfect choice for Donald Trump's vice president.
So this is really who Donald Trump chose as his running mate?
I'm a never Trump guy. I'm a never Trump guy. I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him. I'm a never Trump guy. I'm a never Trump guy. I'm a never Trump guy.
Because Trump needed a two-faced, sycophantic suck-up who was smart enough to make him look smart and articulate his insane BS lies to Trump-supporting intellectuals who, for the most part, are simply neo-Nazis who think reading Mein Kampf is the equivalent of a bachelor's degree, while also being such a yellow-bellied little coward that he would say anything Donald Trump wanted, even against his own better instincts. And Vance, for what it's worth, namely the cost of democracy and the further denigration of truth, has been doing a bang-up job for the guy holding his very tight leash, especially when it comes to refusing to answer one very specific and easy question.
Remember, he said that on January the 6th, the protesters ought to protest peacefully. And on January the 20th, what happened? Joe Biden became the president. Donald Trump left the White House.
Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future.
That is a damning non-answer.
I'm focused on the future is one of the most generic store-brand boy deflections there is. It's what you say when you want to change the subject. If not, you just answer the question. I'll show you. John, have you ever murdered someone? No, I haven't. Have you ever been mistaken for Penn Badgley? No, I haven't. Have you ever been forcibly removed from Rainforest Cafe for insisting that the frog was coming on to you? Look, I'm focused on the future.
But every so often, we can see the last remnants of his soul escaping his body as he tries so hard to suffocate his conscience that at heart knows how much of an absolute jackass he looks like. And today, that was on full display in this utterly humiliating interview he did with the New York Times, where he continues to not answer that same question while wearing that shit-eating grin and thinking he really outsmarted the failing New York Times.
In the debate, you were asked to clarify if you believe Trump lost the 2020 election. Do you believe he lost the 2020 election?
I think that Donald Trump and I have both raised a number of issues with the 2020 election, but we're focused on the future. I think there's an obsession here with focusing on 2020. I'm much more worried about what happened after 2020, which is a wide open border, groceries that are unaffordable. And look,
Senator, yes or no?
Okay.
Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election?
Let me ask you a question. Is it okay that big technology companies censored the Hunter Biden laptop story, which independent analysis have said cost Donald Trump millions of votes?
Senator Vance, I'm going to ask you again. Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election?
Did big technology companies censor a story that independent studies have suggested would have cost Trump millions of votes?
Senator
I think that's
Vance,
the question.
I'm going to ask you again. Did Donald Trump lose the 2020
And I've answered
election?
your question with another question. You answer my question and I'll answer yours.
I have asked this question repeatedly. It is something that is very important for the American people to know. There is no proof, legal or otherwise, that Donald Trump did not lose the 2020 election.
You're repeating a slogan rather than engaging with what I'm saying, which is that when our own technology firms engage in industrial scale censorship, by the way, backed up by the federal government, in a way that independent studies suggest affect the votes, I'm worried about Americans who feel like there were problems in 2020. I'm not worried about this slogan that people throw. Well, every court case went this way. I'm talking about something very discrete, a problem of censorship in this country that I do think affected things in 2020, and more importantly, that led to Kamala Harris's governance, which has screwed this country up in a big way.
Senator, would you have certified the election in 2020? Yes or no?
I've said that I would have voted against certification because of the concern that I just raised. I think that when you have technology companies—
The answer is no.
When you have technology companies censoring Americans at a mass scale in a way that, again, independent studies have suggested affect the vote, I think that it's right to protest against that, to criticize that, and that's a totally reasonable thing.
So the answer is no.
And that should be concerning, because should Trump lose this election, Vance is already lubed up more than a guest at a Diddy party to push more of Trump's BS lies and further rile up Trump's base of intellectuals. But on the bright side, if we do our jobs and vote and continue to fight against this nonsense, we can look forward to relegating Vance and his nonsense to a podcast on Rumble, aptly titled Boy and Couch. Thanks for watching. Support the channel if you agree that this is shameful and disqualifying. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse, and I'll see you all in the next one.